Hello, today's video is a tutorial on how to build this adorable little bookcase aquarium. It's approximately 1 gallon and I'm using terrestrial as well as submerged plants. If you want to learn how to make your very own hardscape that's guaranteed to last, stick around and I'll show you how. Welcome to Submerged Design Studios.
So I got this little aquarium. It's a tide line. It's just barely over 1 gallon. Rimless, super cute. Tiny little bookshelf aquarium. I'll get the exact measurements and put those on the screen. Okay, take these little pieces and we're going to cut them to the size that you want. Now I've already done that. So you can see here, try and get it where the camera will show. I've pretty much cut it where the majority of the bottom will be protected. Okay, now they're just being obstreperous. Anyway, you can see these will cover across here. The whole bottom will be basically covered. That will protect the glass from getting scratched by any rocks or anything like that. Now, not everything is going to go right up to the edge, so I can take this plastic mat out and start to build my rock formation on this a little bit first. So I've just used some masking tape to fiddle around here and get the wood in somewhat the shape that I'm looking for. Right now I kind of like the way that this root comes out around that way, and I think I'm going to use that as a way to get the line to come naturally in this curved fashion. So now that this tape let me know exactly where the level of my glass is. And then I also am pointing here to show the level of my bottom angles. So this is just going to remind me that this is my curve root here, and that this is where I want the back of the glass to be. The circle around tells me that this is about where the rim of the glass will be. So now I can just sort of play with my rocks a little bit to see if I can get someone to go in a way that I am very happy with. Now you can get away with using less rocks if you prop your rocks up. Instead of laying this big rock flat and taking up a big footprint, you can use this rock instead, this way, keeping that flat edge inside. And it actually makes a little bit more interest to the rock as well. The trick then is just finding which one will naturally hold it, because you want it to have a rock that is going to be able to support its own weight if need be. Yes, there's going to be other things in there, but like this rock is able to naturally support that. And then we would be able to use this as a taller part for our angle here. Something like that. So I'm going to go ahead and attach these rocks in a natural way, I guess, as opposed to an unnatural way. What are we saying? So get these rocks to balance in a way that makes you happy and that you're able to get to the bottom. I use these raw, natural, unfiltered or unrefined cotton filters. They're little cigarette filters. Very inexpensive. One bag lasts forever. These little guys here, that's what it looks like when it comes in the bag. And what you do is you peel open the paper and you get this little cotton puff. Now when you're going to use the little cotton puffs, you don't want to take a big blob, not even this big of a blob, and just stuff it in there, because what will happen is the glue will harden around the outside edge and the inside will stay dry, which actually leads to the fibers are not solid, they're still the cotton, so you can just pull it apart as easily as if it wasn't glued. And so you definitely want to take smaller little bits and tuck them in. The trick is always to get the first one, because once you get the first one, then you kind of have a little bit of a tacky area to work with. And I am using the thin Star Bond for this particular piece. Oh my goodness, not like that, I'm not. Don't forget your hoobie doobie. Get all of the pieces of the cotton wet, and then you can kind of start tucking it in and tucking it against the other rock. Now, if you get this cotton on your hands and then you get glue on your hands, it will cause a chemical burn. So you don't want to do that. I'm just taking little bits and putting them in different directions right now. And what that does is it helps to actually bond it into a stronger, more like a fiberglass type of a material. See the little area right here? And then you want to just sort of tease it a little bit. You can use the tip of the glue there to kind of just sort of pat it and press it into the edges. Sorry, I'm holding this camera with one hand if you're shaky. You don't want to leave any bits of the cotton out like this. But this particular type of rock, it has white crystals in it and white lines. So depending on where it was, the little cracks, it's okay for the cotton to actually have the little bit of white. Good angle. That's a good angle. There it goes. Yeah, I think that's where we're going to land for right now. Just support it. As mentioned earlier, do not get this on your fingers. As you can see, I'm just taking teeny tiny little pieces. Hopefully you can see how I tucked them in there. And now we're going to take just little bitty droplets. And you have a few seconds to work the cotton into where you want it to go. Especially want this first one to really be close to the whatever it is that you're attaching. I don't know. I'm holding this in my hand, so I'm trying to get it where you can see. Now we're going to take another little thin spread out layer. I think this way. Oh my goodness. This is the wrist breaking way. Now tuck that in there. It will adhere very easily to that part that was just put on there, that first drop. I also want to tack this little part here. Part of the cotton on that side. Part of cotton on this side. It ain't been the cotton on Joe. I've been married a long time ago. Sorry. Where did he come from? Where did he go? Where did he come from? Cotton Eye Joe. Hopefully you're able to get this in the video. It's hard to look at the video and look at what I'm doing here. But you get it on there. Zoom in for a second so you can sort of... There's the smoke. That's the chemical burn. It will smoke on your skin. Now you can see I have completely let go of the wood and it is on there. You can, if you say, you know what, I hate that, you are able to and pull it apart. But I don't want to because I just got it where I wanted it. I will go over any of the parts that are touching wood, like right in here. I will go over with the dark brown, and that just sort of helps to blend it in where it looks more like it's part of the root. I want the structure to be completely sound so that if it's bumped in cleaning or whatever, it stays in place. First part I'll want to get in though is just more of a cementing everything where I want it. After I've done that, I will come in and tidy up behind with the little bit of decoration rocks. As that is such a tiny gap, I want to go ahead and you have to do this quite a lot in this project. Clink. So what you do here is just slowly let it drip down until you can see that all the way to the bottom of the cotton has wicked up the glue. You want to go ahead and do it for all of the areas that you have tacked thus far. But when you've just tacked it this way in little spots to keep it from falling over or whatever, you can just kind of go bink and you're free. So don't worry about trying it over and over thinking that you're going to mess up your rocks or you're going to mess up your wood, because you're not going to. Welcome back to today's episode of Crafting with Cats. I'd say for it being just a tacking job and it falling over quite hard. Okay. Rock on, Batman. I like to make little areas like so, because to me it just increases the interest. Now this first one again is just a tack. We just want to make this branch stay here. I will cover this area right here where the white glue has gotten onto the branch with a brown glue. I'm very happy with the way that it helps to bring this line down. This rock is actually going to have a lot of pink tones when it's wet, and it will not take very long at all for this wood to turn a very dark brown. So that will accentuate the contrast between the dark colored wood and the light colored rock. Now I've been playing with this piece here. I really, just because this is such a square, I really am tempted to do something like this. And that's too parallel to that. But this is very flat, and if I throw one of these little guys in here, and I throw something like this over here, so do not be cantankerous. Thank you. So I have done a little bit of off-camera addition here. I've added some rocks in here. I added a couple of little hooty-hoos. I think I added this hooty-hoo, this hooty-hoo, this guy. Definitely these rocks in here. So I guess let's get it crack-a-lackin'. The first thing I'm doing is laying out all of my little pieces here. So now I have a protective grid in place, and then I can see how it fits in the tank. And there is still room behind here to get a scraper. So this does a great job of taking up the entirety of the tank. We have the rule of thirds, in that we're covering this third this third. We're leaving this third for negative space. I'm very happy with that, actually. I don't want to raise the level. I'm happy with where this is coming out and where this is. Yay! I'll be using this gravel mixed with a white sand. I really do like the different colors. Come here, white. There. I like the different colors in this gravel. I forgot that this particular bucket of gravel was not pre-rinsed. C'est la vie. I'll just need to do a couple of water changes. Make sure you get all these little pockets filled in. You don't want to have just a little detritus farm. I'm going to add a little bit of sand. I am actually using the Aqua Natural aquarium substrate. Grab the recycled Parmesan container here. Now, as soon as I add water, a lot of this sand is going to go. Now, I'm going to go add some water to this tank, get this sand to shimmy on down into the rocks. It is not even in here at all. This is just air pockets in between the rocks. So it will all come down quite a bit as I add water and it adjusts. So the next time that you see this little cutie patootie, it's going to have water and plants, and I don't know, maybe I'll go ahead and put some shrimp in there. We'll see. Can tell me what I'm doing wrong, baby. And when I see you smiling